The rain fell in slow, deliberate sheets, turning the city into a beautiful, blurry reflection. Inside the quiet hotel lobby, Nadia sat, her coat still damp, her hands folded neatly in her lap. She was 47 and carried herself with the kind of poise that comes from decades of keeping her emotions tightly under control. Across the lobby, Leila appeared, 25, confident, but with gentle eyes, her leather jacket slightly worn, and a smile that was small but completely genuine. Nadia stood when she saw her, her heart doing a little flutter that felt both strange and new. "You must be Leila," Nadia said softly. Leila nodded, taking in the older woman's elegance, the pearls, the faint scent of lavender, and the nervous energy hiding just beneath her calm surface. "I am. Should we go up?" The elevator ride was silent, just the hum of the machinery and the soft sound of rain against the glass. When they entered the room, Nadia hesitated. The space suddenly felt too intimate, too bright. "Would you like a drink?" she asked, moving toward the minibar. Leila shook her head. "Maybe we could just talk for a bit?" Nadia looked at her, surprised. She had expected something transactional, almost mechanical. But Leila's voice was filled with warmth. It was an invitation to just breathe. Nadia nodded and sat on the edge of the bed. For a little while, they talked about ordinary things, their work, music, how fast the city seemed to move. Leila listened in a way that no one had listened to Nadia in years, and Nadia found herself laughing, actually laughing, remembering the person she used to be before her marriage had slowly dissolved into polite, empty silence. "Why did you call me?" Leila asked finally, her tone careful, not judgmental at all. Nadia looked down at her hands. "Because I was lonely, not just for physical company at least, not only that. I wanted someone to see me again, to see me as a woman, not as a ghost walking through my own life." Leila reached out and gently brushed a strand of Nadia's hair behind her ear. The touch was so light, almost reverent. "You are seen," she whispered, and with those simple words, something inside Nadia just softened. The walls she had built over years and years of quiet disappointment began to crumble. She looked up, her eyes glistening. "You're very kind. I try to be," Leila said, smiling. The distance between them closed slowly, naturally. Leila sat beside her, their knees touching. The air in the room changed. It felt electric, but in a very tender way. When Nadia's hand trembled slightly, Leila took it in hers, holding it steady. "You don't have to be afraid," Leila murmured. "I'm not afraid," Nadia said, even though her voice shook a little. "Just out of practice." Leila leaned in, hesitating for just a moment, just long enough for Nadia to meet her halfway. Their lips met softly. It wasn't a kiss of hunger, but one of gratitude. It tasted of rain and warmth, of rediscovering a part of herself she thought was long gone. It lingered, deepened, and then broke with a small sigh that held both relief and wonder. Afterward, they sat together by the window, wrapped in a silence that now felt peaceful instead of heavy. The city lights shimmered below, painting their faces in gold and silver. "Do you ever get lonely?" Nadia asked quietly. "Sometimes," Leila admitted, "but then I meet people who remind me that a connection doesn't have to last forever to be real." Nadia turned those words over and over in her mind. She knew that when morning came, Leila would leave, and the world would go back to its usual rhythm. But tonight, for the first time in years, she felt truly alive. Not because of the kiss, but because someone had looked at her without any expectation and had simply seen her. Leila stood after a while and stretched. "Would you like me to stay until morning?" Nadia smiled faintly. "Yes, but only if you want to." Leila nodded. "I do." They lay together on the bed, fully clothed, just listening to the soft patter of the rain. Nadia could feel Leila's heartbeat against her shoulder, steady and real. The warmth between them wasn't about youth or desire. It was about being seen, being touched, being remembered. Just before sleep finally claimed her, Nadia whispered, "Thank you." Leila smiled in the dark. "You don't have to thank me. Sometimes kindness is just another word for love." Outside, the storm faded into a gentle drizzle. Inside, two women, strangers only hours before, found in each other a fleeting but profound tenderness. And when dawn finally arrived, it came softly, washing the city and Nadia's heart in a beautiful new light. Thank you so much for joining me for this story. If it touched your heart, I'd be so grateful if you'd consider subscribing to the channel. I've noticed that almost 98% of the people who watch these stories aren't subscribed, and it would mean the world to me if you joined our community. Just a small click for you makes a huge difference for us. I hope to see you in the next one. Take care.